to the audience.
Here's a loose approach to Futurefest. Futurefest is where we are taking a look at today's money, investing in tomorrow's ideas. And we're going to take a look at a few of these ideas. Each of the companies will present for approximately, but not more than, 4 minutes. And then the judges, we're going to talk a little bit with the presenter to give an opinion on would they invest, what's good about the company, and other ideas.
And we say positive, right?
And of course, we are all about positive, and we're all about Israel, so we're just going to figure out how these companies can be a success. And with that, let's try our first one. Our very first company, you can see on page 21, is a list of all the companies that we're going to be talking about. Our first company is Sensagon. And if I could bring up Omer Efrat. Now, this is a very interesting area. Let's see if we can figure out how this personality test fits with the personality of the presentation.
Hi, everyone. I'm Omer Efrat. It's a pleasure being here today. We're going to talk about advertising a bit. So let me start with a simple question. What is the salesman wisdom? It's a general phrase. Let me try to answer that. As the experts say, it's a different show for different customers. Something very easy to comprehend. But that requires customers' psychological comprehension. In real life, we call it intuition. In the virtual life, we call it sense gone. Take a minute to think about it. Let's shift gear and talk about ad technologies in general. We have our beloved ad network manager. It could be any one of us. Try to create now an online advertising campaign. You can do it using Facebook, mostly with local demographics and like geographic demographics, user interest. Oh, what was that? Yeah. You can. I lost my. Yeah. Okay. And I'm back. You can use it doing Google, using Google AdWords, mostly geographics and search keywords. And if it's really smart, you can do it with a double click using a much more advanced user segmentation. All of these are good, but not good enough. We are asking, what about the user personality, or what we call it, the human personality? Let's take our both friends, Eddie and Brian, to understand exactly the difference. Eddie is emotional, novelty seeker, and status driven, whereas his friend Brian is risk avoider, functional, and economic driven. Although their online profile look almost the same. They're both almost the same age, they grew up in the same city, they even went to the same college, and they're now working for almost the best 2 startups in the valley. But are they the same client? And should they get the same generic campaign or display? We say no, and that will cause low CTR, and will probably cause our ad network manager to be unemployed. This is why Sensagon developed the genome analyzer technology. We are using social interactions, we'll go back to that in a minute, analyzing massive social data, and creating the psychosocial persona algorithm in order to create the differentiation platform between those exactly 2 personas that for all of us, all the rest are almost the same. In that reason, we have that persona that is 24 to 30, male, emotional, and status-driven, that will engage to that campaign. This is where the salesman wisdom competes in the virtual world. User engagement we defined with Sensagon. Thank you. Now any questions? Yes.
What's the status of the company?
We are now past the beta phase. We are looking for the first engagement with the American market. We are looking now for cooperations with American ad networks, for say precisely.
And are you funded?
We were funded up to $1 million by now by Israeli money, public VC, and some angels. But now we're ready to get the round A funding.
Could you explain a bit more the business model, how you're going to work exactly with the ad network?
At that phase, I can start talking a bit about strategy. But at that phase, we are working for the ad networks. We're not an ad network ourselves because of the resources, but now we're actually putting another technological layer on top of the existing technology of the ad networks. Every percent of CTR that we improve in them, we are taking our own fee for the CTR improvement.
Omer, it was a really good presentation, and I think it's a really interesting space, and it's very hard. I mean, so I applaud you. It's very hard in 3 minutes. I mean, you did it in 3 minutes to basically convey some things. But I mean, it would also be good, you're getting some questions kind of almost like a little bit more substantive, drilling down that extra layer to, you know, better understand kind of your go-to-market strategy. And I, for one, and we touched on this, we, you know, chatted last night, would love to just understand the lift that you're seeing in terms of the click-through rates. You know, do you have customers? How many customers? You know, is it the ad networks? Is it the agencies? How do you sort of go to the market? And then ultimately the benefit that they're seeing, you know, the advertisers, the brands and stuff like that, you know, using, you know, Sensigown versus not. So maybe a couple of questions in there, but if you can share some insight there, that would be great.
Okay, I'll try to answer it in both, in 2 parts. The first, now, what we're doing now is getting inside the ad networks and creating value for them. We don't have a campaign management API for the agencies yet. Now we're working, like if you see the value chain, we are after the ad network and before the media. We actually have a real-time platform that communicates between the last part of the segmentation until another layer of micro-clustering for them. This is the first business model. After we have the resources, we want to become our independent ad network ourselves.
So, but what was the inspiration that wanted you to start this company?
It's a good question. Actually, we started as a security company. We were developing the homeland security solution for terrorists, pedophiles, and
From
such.
this? From this?
That's technology, yeah. We are coming from, most of the people are in the company are either psychiatrics or IDF security officers, intelligence officers. Okay, I just ended. Eventually, after working in that space, we didn't really enjoy it, and we thought the opportunity and the fun in that space, in the advertising space, is much bigger and interesting than in the homeland security. That's my opinion.
Yeah, and just one more word of feedback. First, I think you did a really good job coming up first and giving your whole spiel in 3 minutes. Yeah, I heard somebody clapping. You could do it, but you did a good job. And I think you're doing a very good job in telling a story, and every presentation should be a storytelling. I do think, if you don't mind me saying, that only towards the end of the presentation we understood what your company is doing. And my personal style is actually to see this in the first, and then tell the story to see how you got there, like a title. But other than that, I think you know, coming up in front of a big crowd like this, speaking, I sense maybe that English is not your mother tongue. I don't know why I think so. But
You did great.
in front of all these people, doing the presentation, finishing in time, going through everything what you like. And again, Prezi makes everybody looks like a video editor. So altogether, I think that aside the fact that the build-up was too long before we really knew what we did, I think as far as the presentation and how a pitch should look, this is something other entrepreneurs can maybe learn a little bit from.
Thank you so much. We will do that.
Brilliant presentation. Thank you. I want to thank you for coming up, and well, we'll come back to it later. That quick question: would this be something where you would take a second meeting to see if it'd be of further interest?
I would.
Okay.
For me, it's far too late, and actually I prefer consumer things, but I would send them to Danny, probably because I would think he's an interesting investment for a more institutional investment firm.
Huh. Okay.
I think the space is very interesting. I think definitely take a second meeting. I think it's very competitive, and I think to get funded for this, it's going to be an interesting challenge. It's not going to be an easy ride.
All right. All right, good, great feedback, wonderful. See, you're getting a peek into the mind. Our next presenter is a company called Drippler. Matan Talmi is the CEO, and this is a way for you to figure out how to use your gadget more creatively. Matan, tell us all about you, 4 minutes, and let's see what we can do.
All right. Hi, I'm Atan Talmi, co-founder and CEO of Dripler. This? All right. So everybody's using gadgets today, smartphones, tablets. It's just growing and growing. And at the same time, these devices are becoming smarter and more sophisticated. There's a lot more to know about the devices, and there's a lot of information. So there's rumors and usage tips, tech support, applications, games, accessories, manuals, and so there's a lot to know as a user. And Dripler is the ultimate information source for mobile users. We provide personalized updates about your devices and make sure you're always up to date, helping you make the most of your devices. So the way it works is we have an Android app right now. We're on Android. You install the app on your device. It's for smartphones, tablets. We automatically detect the device you're using, and then you get personalized updates about your device. We keep you constantly up to date, make sure you don't miss any important stuff. On the back end, we have an automatic curation platform that we developed, which does aggregates the content from a lot of leading sources and matches each piece of content with the relevant devices. So it's fully scalable. We're supporting almost practically all Android devices on the market today. So far, we've just reached actually 1.5 million downloads on Android this week. We're getting hundreds of thousands of monthly active users, tens of thousands of daily active users, and really great engagement. We're getting 4.8 star ratings on Google Play. We're on the top 3 news apps right now, so any Android owners can check it out. This is some of the feedback we've been getting from bloggers saying it's a must-have app. And actually, we're even saving lives because some of our users couldn't live without this awesome app. And our business model is based on the fact that we're generating a lot of leads to apps, accessories, and new devices because our users are actually discovering all these products for the first time on Dripler and then purchasing these new devices, upgrades, accessories, and applications. So it's a revenue share model. We're generating leads and also going to offer sponsored content to brands because we can specifically target their customer segments they're interested in because we basically know what our users own, what they're using, and what they're interested in. So, like I said, Dripler is the ultimate information source for mobile users. We make sure you're always up to date about your devices and help you make the most of them and bring you everything you need to know before you even ask. Thanks.
Oh, I think it's great. I love it. First of all, I think the graph going up to the right is always something that gets us all excited. So it's much better than all the other options. One question, so it's more about app discovery than it's about support?
No, app discovery is only part of it. It's like a one-stop shop for everything you need to know about your device. So
does it do support as well?
yeah, we do how-tos and manuals, rumors about when the next software version is coming out for your device, deals on accessories for your device, manuals, usage tips, anything that helps you ongoing with your device.
And it's going to be relevant for iOS as well?
So
do you think not
it
so
is.
much?
We're going to do iOS next, actually, yeah, the reason people ask us that is because Apple does a better job of keeping the users updated, obviously. But there is a lot more to know about your device, right? People are interested in getting rumors, when the next iOS version is coming out, what features is it going to have, and then once you update it, you want to know how to use all these new features and app recommendations, new accessories coming out all the time. So there's a lot of information. We're actually on iOS on Pulse. You can get iPad and iPhone updates through Pulse. We're on the technology section there. But we're going to have our own iOS app soon. Yeah, we raised seed funding. We're angel backed, and we're now doing a round.
That's a wrong answer, by the way. When Sequoia asks you if you're raising money, even
The
if
answer
you're
is
just
yes.
making
No, no,
the answer is
conversation-
no,
no.
the answer,
The microphone wasn't working,
the answer is not at the moment, but we may. But if you have an offer, we're willing to
Right.
consider it with you.
So what he said, yeah. Okay. All right.
I'm unemployable, but that's a different problem.
Matan, I think, was a great presentation as well, and very clear what you're doing. Getting 1 million plus downloads. How long did that take?
Well, we launched on Android about a year ago, and
Uh-huh.
then we've been seeing most of the growth over the last few months.
So what changed? I mean, getting 1 million downloads is really impressive. So that's kudos to you guys. But you must have done something that for the first couple of quarters you weren't getting the downloads. And I'm curious around app discovery, I guess, and how you yourselves manage that. You almost want to use your own product.
Right. So actually, it was more of a focus thing. We actually met you early on, and we were starting out on the web. And then we slowly shifted to mobile because we saw we're getting a lot of our traffic with mobile because people want to get the information directly on their device. So we slowly shifted, and now our entire focus is mobile. So that's one. The second thing is that we're growing with Android because Android is growing. And it's crazy. We got a lot of downloads over the holidays because people are buying all these new devices and looking for the information. So we're growing with the platform. And also, we've managed to really improve the app. We're listening to our users' feedback and comments, and this is why we're getting these great user feedbacks.
Do you go to the developers as well, or are you focused on the consumer? Anything with the developer side? Is there like any SDK and any way to partner?
No. It's just consumer. It's a consumer app. Yeah.
Did you spend any money on user acquisition, or it's all organic and viral?
All organic.
Okay, this is actually something I would add to the presentation as well, but that's
All right.
So
well, okay.
You're not raising money, and it was organic.
Yeah. And one
just
thing
wanna
that
clarify.
also
we don't need money because we're growing organically, right?
Exactly.
exactly. Okay, yeah.
Just need to monetize.
Now you're
and
pushing
that's
it.
One thing that also be helpful would be to know your DAU and MAU numbers.
Sorry?
Daily active user and monthly active.
Okay. So we're at around 400,000 monthly active users and around 60,000 daily. And we're managing to improve that because we're actually over the last few months, we added the push notifications, which really improved the engagement, and we're still working on making it, optimizing it.
So what have you learned the most from this experience so far?
Well, I think it's a real pain for people. I mean,
I meant talking to us.
Oh, from you guys. All right.
Nothing.
No, seriously, so what did you learn doing the startup?
Right. So originally we thought we were doing like something that would be focused for the more techie crowd than geeky crowd like us because it was our pain. And then we found out that actually, since a lot of the non-techie people, which is most of the people, are using all these smart devices today, they want to get this information, and then we see that we're getting to that crowd. People are telling us, I'm not a techie, and now finally there's somebody telling me what to download, how to install. So it's kind of like their techie friend that instead of calling someone, asking them, what should I install, how do I download it, we keep them updated, and it's working.
Wow, that's great. Congratulations. This is really nice.
All right, thank you very much.
Good job.
Matan, that was so cool. I can't live without you. You're saving my life too.
Matan, where are you based? In Israel or? Okay.
That's why we bring Tel Avivis to here to beat other Tel Avivians, right?
Please, on behalf of Tel Aviv, and again, Danny is probably one of the best VCs, and people who know me know I don't have a good opinion on Israeli VCs. But having said that, he's from Herzliya. That's not Tel Aviv.
Oh, well, that's different. That's not Tel Aviv. All right, so
The office, at least.
so Randy, you like this company?
It's interesting.
All right. Well, I think that's a pretty nice vote of approval. Again, another peek into the mind of the investors. We're going to go into another realm now with a gaming company that is quite physical. So don't blink, because I think you're going to get a little motion happening here as we bring up Kinvestix. And can we have our performers?
Hi, I'm Eldon. Now it's pretty obvious why I did not respond to the dress code. Okay, our product is very physical. It's a full body power vest that turns every console/PC activity into a challenging workout by adding adjustable linear resistance to the user's limbs while playing. Okay, so the user's strength, endurance, and overall well-being is being significantly increased by using Kinvestix. I can adjust the resistance from 1 pound to 10 pounds. Okay, right now it's analogical. Okay, it's only manual. We're working on a platform, once we get the money, okay, to allow a synchronization between the PC and the console and to get more tangible experience, which is a huge demand of the users. Usually when you're playing Wii, you're just waving. We took it to the next level, and we're actually adding resistance. So you're really increasing the workout by up to 40%, which is very meaningful. You can feel the burn in every console activity regardless. It doesn't have to be just a fitness activity, it can be just a game. As long as you're waving and you're connected to the units, which are independent of weight, okay? It's not weight that I'm pulling, it's a mechanism, okay? And it's IP. Questions?
I feel the burn just by watching this. And another question, you're not going to molest us or anything wearing this stuff,
No,
right?
she asked me not to, but it's okay. I said don't. No, I said, and you have to be adaptive, so, okay. I won't kick.
Yeah. So I saw you guys walking around, and I said, you know, what kind of an Israeli entrepreneur, I mean, how bad are they that they come in shorts to these meetings? But now I get it, and I'm sorry I ever doubted you
You all
guys.
forgive me, right? I mean, it makes sense, right?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
So I want to say, first of all, it looks fantastic. We are very cautious of investing in I would say, I'm not sure if this is consumer electronics or gadgets or what exactly, but I think there are a lot of challenges related to physical product that I think a lot
That's why you guys invested in PrimeSense, I guess.
Wow. I didn't invite him, by the way. I did not. Yeah. No, it's a
Last
great
minute
question.
addition.
So I think a lot is related to the business model, right? And PrimeSense, at the end of the day, was a technology that was implemented and was brought to market by an amount or a budget that was way, way bigger than what the investors could ever put in, which is what Microsoft did with Kinect. And I think if the model here at the end of the day is someone to pick this technology up and to embed it in a product that will be, then maybe potentially it's interesting. I still think PrimeSense was a big risk to take, and a lot of investors stayed away from that and I think you're going to see some of those challenges as well.
We're ready for the challenges.
Yeah. You know, it'd be interesting, sorry, Randy, I know you guys are in Jawbone, for example, right? Sequoia is...
There's a lot of technology in Jawbone, the sound cancellation, et cetera. I think we're also equally cautious on physical consumer products, and it usually comes down to gross margin and market size, because adoption of a physical device like this probably can build a very nice business, but not sure it's fit for a fund like ours anyway.
But can you tell us a little bit about the company, the business itself? How many people, where are you based, what you accomplished so far?
Sure. We're based in Tel Aviv, me and Asaf. We founded the company about 1.5 years ago. Asaf provided the first money, which brought us so far. We're looking for additional fund. Time's up.
No, you're good, you're good.
Extension.
It's an Israeli
we founded
conference.
the money, and we were able to get to this stage. Of course, we need additional capital in order to complete the vision, which is working in front of, to make it a digital device. I myself, I'm an athlete and a trainer, and physical fitness has been my passion since day one. So that's what really created the product, passion and need. Right now is only the two of us, and we're recruiting the CTO that will be able to execute the technical side.
Eldon, I'm curious. So first off, I actually know some people that are in the business that are doing stuff that I just met with a few weeks ago that would be probably really interested in meeting with you. So I'm happy to talk to you offline and make an introduction there. You know, we share the same thing. You know, as an early stage fund, we're very capital efficient sort of focus, so that would be a concern. I'm wondering, in terms of the technology, though, you know, what are the, you know, is there anything that you've patented? Is there any IP that you feel can really prevent someone from saying that's a brilliant idea? Let's, you know, just incorporate that as an add-on.
It is IP'd right now. We IP'd it. But besides that, I don't think I understood the question.
Again, think of it as barriers to entry. It's a terrific idea. What's going to stop, whether it's Microsoft or, you know, a PrimeSense or anyone else, from saying, hey, wonderful idea, let's try to incorporate that, and they've got the channel, they've got hundreds of millions of devices in the marketplace. They can then incorporate, you know, kind of what you're doing. What's going to stop them from doing that? Is there some unique technology? You know, is there, you know, some patents that you filed that will, you know, prevent them from doing that?
I think it's also going to be the IP, and I think also what's really going to be critical is the partnership that we're going to establish. That's probably going to make the barrier for other companies. But we have risk like everybody else. So
I want to pose a question to the audience. Assuming this product was commercially available, how many in the audience would use it? Okay, so see, so take all the VC comments with a grain of salt. I'm sure my VC colleagues here will be very happy to have them to admit one day that that was too risky, but I think everybody would want you to succeed. I think it's also the presentation itself, coming up on stage like this again, is very unusual. No, I'm just kidding. I see people like that every day. No, well, it's really.
How much does it cost? I mean, that's just really a follow-up question for the audience. I mean, everyone's sure, but what's your price point?
The price for the end consumer is going to be $199. This is the target. This is what we think it's worth. It's going to be convenient. We don't want it to be more than the actual console price. Okay. Usually, accessories they're not more expensive than the actual consoles. Okay, they're usually less. Like the Wii balance board, Wii console costs $200, and the Wii balance board costs $170, and it goes down from that to the other accessories. So $200, I think, would be fair.
Now, how many people are going to use it?
How many would
good
now?
Focus group.
Yeah, you see.
Yeah. I think it's important to stress. I think what Randy said, especially, is I think at the end of the day, it's not clear that this is suitable for the type of investors that are sitting. At least the VCs. Sorry for talking. I think it could be a nice business. The question is how big this business can be, okay? And I think if you look at some of these accessories companies, a lot of them remain nice businesses that bring good money for small investors. Okay, so I think you got to target the right potential investor that will be a right fit for this business as it is today.
Around history and the way that we interact with digital content, you can see the changes through the history, through the last 10, 20 years. But today, technology is focusing on two major things. One of them is the NUI, the natural user interface, which means designing technology to fit to the way that we interact with our surroundings. And the second one is the connection between the digital world and the physical world. And we in Extendi connect these two concepts by using augmented reality. Now, augmented reality is basically overlay digital information on the physical world through the use of mobile objects. And there is a lot of ways how to do it. And although you can see a lot of apps of augmented reality today, it haven't got to its fullest potential. And Google had launched a couple of months ago a project Google Glass, and you can see that augmented reality is going to be the technology of tomorrow. Now, we found out that today there is no available tool to create augmented reality experience without involving professional third parties, with developers or graphic designers. You need to bring a lot of money to the table in order to create an augmented reality experience. So here in Extended, what we do, we're developing now a platform which will enable businesses to create the augmented reality experience for their customers. But it's not just another augmented reality application. What we do is we base the content of the proximity of the user from the object, which means we try to imitate the natural human behavior, such as in the real world when something is interesting me. I will take a step forward to see what it is. I will take a step back in order to see the larger concept of the same object. Let's see a movie about how it works.
Remember this? Since it was invented, people have used it to explore their surroundings. Today people use the web to learn about their surroundings. So we thought, why not link the two together? Now, think about the magnifying glass of the 21st century. We developed an interface that provides a gateway to the digital information about objects that we interact with on a daily basis. Through the use of augmented reality, the interface creates a direct connection between the information and the object. Getting closer or moving away from the object will display different layers of information depending on your distance from it. Want to get more information about the object? Just lower the tablet and the information will be revealed on the screen. Using the interface will allow you to easily learn about different kinds of objects by just getting closer to them. Just as in the real world, taking a step back reveals the larger context, and getting closer to an object reveals more specific information. Our interface offers you a new way to interact with your environment and is the next stage in the evolution of exploration.
Thank you.
That was awesome.
What's your first application?
Actually, we have two. One of them is in a museum, in the IDC Radio Museum. It's a college in Israel. And the second one is a new contract that we're launching with Nike. It's going to work on shoes in the store.
So can you just expand upon that? I mean, I think AR is a very exciting opportunity, and I like the fact that you have sort of a platform approach, but can you give us a little bit more color on specifically like what you're doing, let's say, with Nike in terms of how they're leveraging your platform? And
the platform is now in prototype stage. We're looking for fundings in order to develop that. So what we're doing with Nike is what we call creative solution. We create the experience for them, just as what you saw in the movie is actually working. It's not an edited video or something, it's not an effect, it's the product itself. What will happen in the store, you get like a preview, if you're gonna be in the stores in Herzliya and Tel Aviv, you're gonna get a tablet in the store, you're gonna look at the shoe, and you're gonna get any information about the shoe. If you're gonna get closer, you're gonna get more specific information, such as the technology behind the shoe, or the concept video of the shoe. What we try to do here is to improve the buying experience of the customer. Nike stores is really, really cool, and Nike puts millions of dollars in online marketing and online content. And we bring the benefits of the online with the benefits of offline, because it's really cool to be in a Nike store and together through the use of the product.
How do you think about distribution and gaining users?
Say it again, I didn't hear.
Distribution and user adoption?
That's a good question, because we have two ways to do it. One is to give license of the API for companies, such as Nike, because they don't want their clients or their customers to download Extend the app. But if a company doesn't have an app, you can use Extend the app, because you can use the app to buy a license for the API, or to use Extend the app for scanning.
So as far as the company, so how many people are involved right now, and how much money are you looking to raise?
Well, we're a very new, very young company. We started up a couple of months ago.
So you have all this after 2 months? How much of this did you bring with you?
The concept that you saw actually was a school project of us.
Do you have the IP on that?
We registered a patent, a provisional patent we applied.
So,
about
so the school
proximity.
let you take the work you did and bring it
No,
with
no,
you?
no. Actually, not. They're getting a small percentage for the. It's not like in the U.S. It's a bit different.
No, the US
we get
schools
in the
take it
IP. The IPs belong to us, and the school gets a percentage of the company.
So how much money are you trying to raise now?
Now for the first seed, we can call it $500,000, in order to develop the platform. Between 3 or 4 months for a beta and 8 months for a full product.
A lot. Again, I think it's really interesting, the whole AR space. In the Nike situation, like, how long did it take you to develop, let's say, the application for them and building on
Nike?
top? Yeah.
Actually, I'm supposed to sign the contract with them when I'm returning from here.
I'm more focused on the technology, like, you know.
The technology is there. It's going to take a week to develop it.
About a week to develop.
Yeah, the main thing is not the technology, is the content.
Mm-hmm.
And the user experience in the store. This is what you need to figure out, not the technology. The technology is very simple. Augmented reality, we didn't invent not the augmented reality and not the image recognition, which the technology that we use. In this case, there's all kind of things.
But in the Nike situation, the users are going to be Nike's customers, so do you get to actually see them? Or is it really going to be Nike's customers, and what do you get out of it, besides just being a platform for them?
With Nike specifically, this is like our rabbit hole, to get into to the market and to our kind of VCs to sell them, this is Nike, they liked us, it's scalable. Like, I've been in a meeting with a VC and he told me it's not scalable, nobody uses it, so I want to return him with Nike. Said, here, you see, it's working. So our model, our business model is pay per scan, which means that the customer, the business will pay for us on every engagement with the product. Nike will not going to pay because they're the first customer, and actually they're giving us the opportunity and not the other way around. But it's a good deal for both of us because they get in the most innovative technology, and we get in Nike as a client.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, this is very early. I think it's, as Bruce said, I think the space has definitely potential, and the world, scary as it seems, will definitely get there. I think right now QR code is the way most people interact with physical devices, and I'm not sure, and again, I don't know what you guys think. I think QR code is definitely not going to stay. I think there's going to be much more natural things to be. I'm not sure the Nike thing is actually the right milestone for you to get funding. So if you're coming saying the Nike, the way you present it, and maybe we need to dig further into that, I think it doesn't provide the right milestone. Actually, I would personally think, and maybe we can talk about it later, talk about a vertical strategy where you talk about maybe there's museums, for example, and try to expand that and try to get usage, let's say, in 10 museums and say, look, I really got this vertical nailed, and then maybe from that I can expand to other places. I think then maybe it's a potentially a more interesting conversation. This is, you have a huge marketing challenge ahead of you, it's a very big one.
I have to say I agree and disagree with Danny. No, actually, I was serious this time.
Let's stop for a second. You agree with me? This is a huge moment.
I'm embarrassed, but
Wow.
I agree. But let's start with the disagreement. I mean, the people didn't buy the ticket to see us agreeing here. I do think that QR code is one thing. I think augmented reality is going to be bigger. And I don't want to say VC, and bigger, it's already happening, and you will just see more of it. I don't want to say more VC jokes about, last year's technology. No, but I think immediately now it's happening, augmented reality. But I do think that Nike, about the marketing challenge, I have to agree with everything Danny said because, it's very nice, but it doesn't show scale. It doesn't show that once this is done, it can go. I think it's better to have a deal with Nike than not having a deal with Nike. But I think the milestone should be once you show something that can be more scalable, that you don't need to go vendor and scan all their products and spend a lot of effort in long cycles and so on, but just to find something more self-served that people could use. I think that would be something that all the investors here, starting from Pulver, who has a lot of interest in esoteric, experimental technologies.
Thanks, Oded.
was a compliment, and all the way to Sequoia. If you can show scale on something like this, a scalable model, I think everybody would be interested in doing this. If it's going one retailer by the other, again, as painful as it is, I have to agree with Danny here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is it really that painful?
Nah,
Come
but,
on.
but again, we're here. We need to give a little bit of entertainment to the audience.
Thank you for coming up here.
Thank you. Well, I like it. I like it. All right. So our next presenter.
Once they leave the door, let's bring the really great companies. Okay,
Now the best ones
Exactly
are
now.
what you've been waiting for is another company. It's called Snapkeys, and this is our future of how we want to live. We only want to use one hand. This is the one hand clapping, and we have Corey Bardash to tell us all about Snapkeys.
Where's this over here? Whoops. What do I do here? Okay. Thank you. Hello, I'm Corey Bardash. I'm from Snapkeys.
Basically, the problem that we try to solve is that the 130-year-old QWERTY keyboard that was developed actually to slow down the typing experience has been transposed upon mobile devices, and it basically is not supposed to be there. With the increasing minimizing of the slides and the increasing complication of the apps that are on it, the keyboard is something that takes up half the real estate on the screen, and it takes away from your enjoyment and the experience of the user using. Basically, well, one back, that we've been seeing that even just this week in the post-Facebook era, that touchscreens are literally forcing the need for different data input. On the next screen, there are those companies that are actually trying to do something about it. There's a lot of chatter in our space that are trying to improve upon the experience. The swipes and the Swift keys and the series recognize that the data input is problematic, and they're trying to incrementally improve upon that experience. So on the next screen, what is needed is a better typing experience, something that allows you to be more productive, and a more robust experience that you're able to do exactly what you want to do on that device. When you're on Facebook, you want to be able to see a face. When you're on Instagram, you want to be able to interact with it on a mobile device. On the next screen, this is what exactly Snapkeys does. If you could see on the screen, if you have Instagram on a mobile device, when the picture comes up and you actually want to write about it or comment on it, the picture goes away, the QWERTY keyboard comes back, the text box comes down, and you're unable to interact with that device. On the next screen, this is how it works. We've taken away the QWERTY keyboard altogether. We've replaced it with 4 different keypads. Each one, if you just go to the next screen, press it again, you'll see how the letters are formatted. It's been reformatted. Those dots, the yellow is where each letter comes down to 1 point. The green is where each letter comes down to 2 points, like a K and a W. The pink area is where there's a closed circle, and the blue area is where there's a wide base. You now understand the concept within 10 seconds, how the letters are formatted, and after literally just an hour's time, you're able to feel very comfortable with it, and just after a little more time, you're able to blind type, which in fact opens up the whole screen and allows you to interact with that device further. On the next screen, the next one as well, I'm going to give you 4 quick examples of how it improves the experience of the mobile device, particularly when it comes to, let's say, socializing your mobile device. Right now, there's 8.5 million people watching the NBA through Verizon on the handheld device. They're desperately looking for how to socialize their experience, so people will be able to chat with each other while still engaged with the game and not losing the game. If you press the video, you'll see a quick example of what we mean by socializing the device. Imagine this is a basketball game, but this is the current situation, the QWERTY keyboard. You lose the whole experience. Your eyes get off it and you're not the same integration. Okay, that's just when it comes to socializing device. On the next video,
I'm sorry, I
yes.
didn't get it. How do you?
I'll show it to you in a second. When the 4 tabs come up, the 4 different letters that we saw you intuitively know where the letters are. You know the 1-point letters are in the blue box, the 2-point letters are in the red box, and the purple and the yellow. After you get comfortable, after an hour, you could actually take away the squares, because you know. Lastly, it is the fastest way of typing. A person who picked up the device for the first time, learned it in 4 hours, beat the record that Samsung has used. And if you look at the video, you'll be able to see that this person just broke the record 2 months ago.
I think we're 2 minutes over.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm wrapping it up right after this. I'm sorry.
I think we get it.
All right, we stop the video.
Very.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, that's basically it.
Yeah. Wow. First of all, let me try to say a couple things. One, I think the problem is 100% real, right? If everybody tries to. One small feedback, you're so focused on the issue of covers the screen, where I think the real issue is way more simpler than that. I think typing on these devices is just impossible. And I actually think you're ruining your message. From a business perspective, wow, I think this is a huge challenge. I think the QWERTY thing that has been invented 130 years ago and was for the wrong thing, so many people have said we need to redo it for something that's more modern. And I think the world is it's a huge marketing challenge to make the world leave what there is today and get what you guys are doing. If the world had it, world would be a better place. But God, it's a big marketing challenge.
Well,
why don't you poll the audience? How many people here would switch to his keyboard if it was available today?
Yeah, there you go.
Well, I'll tell you something. Our negotiation.
Hold on a second. Oh. But it doesn't work that way. No, it doesn't work that way, because they're saying here they saw a 5-minute presentation about this thing. They're saying, how are the consumers going to get a 5-minute presentation in a room with everybody and say, wow, I need it? And the reality is that somebody needs to pick that in some sort of an application.
How many people here are willing to spend an hour to learn that keyboard so they could be more efficient? So you can see a screen. How many people? I can't see. So about a third, a quarter? Yeah.
What?
So you're willing to relearn how to type in order to benefit from it, or no? Or how many people here to do that? Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, I have to say, I personally have a sweet spot for everything who looks at the way we've been doing things and try to do a better thing. So I, just as a philosophy and investment and so on, this is yeah, exactly. Disruptive is good in
if for people who haven't learned how to type yet, it would be very interesting to see how. Then I think it works. But for everyone who already knows how to type, we're fundamentally lazy people.
I agree, and just 2 points on everything that you said. One is the negotiations and the conversations we've been having with the OEMs and the carriers. They said basically what you said also. First of all, we get the problem. It is understood. We all understand it. They say also that we buy the argument that the increased real estate is important to people because you get to engage with it. Yeah. What they also said is the important differentiation to make us different from everybody else is that you also have something cool that will, for our early adopters, and we actually have a lot of studies and pilots in schools that are for the early adopters. You're right. We're, you know.
I have a different question. How many people here had a Palm and learned how to do script? Right. So I think actually
it was painful. There you go. The guy. It was painful.
But it worked. But they did it, right? So how many people here had a Palm and learned script? So trust me, I think we actually would be willing to try it if we.
You know, Jeff, I disagree with you completely. I think it's a huge challenge, and I think the reality is, look, it could work out, and if it's pushed by Apple, maybe it will work out. But it's until someone really big takes it and puts a lot of marketing dollars on it, I think there's going to be a tough ride.
It's laziness versus being innovative and disruptive. So it works both sides. But thank
We're
you.
excited by the feedback that we've been getting from the
So
manufacturers.
are you
right?
already fully funded?
We're not looking for money, but if you have something to offer.
Good answer. Thank you. We have one more, I think, right?
All right, that was a great close, showing that learning curve is always high with Israeli companies. All right, our next presenter is out of the entertainment industry and also has a huge portfolio of music, and we're going to call up Craze Digital, the very crazy and wild Sam Kleinman, who is here and coming this way to show our judges what happens in the entertainment industry. Thank you very much. Sam.
Hi.
Hello.
In the 1990s, I used to own and manage the largest private record company in Europe.
Can you talk louder, please?
In the 1990s, I used to own and manage the largest private record company in Europe.
You said pirate?
No, private. Could be pirate too, it's okay. And in 2004, when I was in Israel, I found myself looking for something to do. I was in this section of my life, so I decided to go back to the music business. And I decided to license a catalog of music for digital distribution, but everybody thought it was nuts because only 1% of the music business was actually sold online. So I found this Jewish guy in London who sold me, who had one of the best catalogs in the world of hip-hop music from the United States, and he licensed me his music. And for that purpose, I had to sell my real estate, and my lawyer told me that I was nuts. Who sells real estate in order to buy music rights? I told him that I'm in Israel, I don't care about the real estate I have, I'm interested in the rights. So today the music business is 65% digital, going to be probably 90% within the next couple of years. The same thing is happening right now with the movie business, though a little slower, and about 10 to 15% of the movie business is going digital, but the DVD business has been decimated, and probably about 50 to 60% of the movie business will be digital within the next few years. And this is exactly what we do. We are at Craze Digital. We have one of the largest inventories in the world of movies for digital distribution. And we are at the forefront of this situation. And we hope to be beneficiaries of this great revolution that's going to come. So I'll just go very quickly over some slides. This is just a representation of some of the movies we have. So we also have a huge catalog of music shows and TV shows and things like that, mainly to do with music or music concerts and things like that, which is very unique because it's extremely difficult to find this kind of shows in the free market. There's sort of a cartel of several companies in Europe that own most of the music rights in the world. I mean, video rights. We were on YouTube for a year and a half, and at that time we were seen by about 1 billion people. We're no longer on YouTube. We have distribution deals with direct ones with anybody in the United States, like iTunes, Hulu, whatever, many, many companies that they... Okay, so what do we do that's so unique and special? First of all, we offer a system that is what's called a white label system that enables any company that wants to be like a Netflix, because we are basically like sort of a souped up Netflix, and anybody can be, tomorrow morning or in 2 seconds, a distributor of our movies. With a couple of clicks of the mouse, we create a carbon copy of our website, and now you can be selling the movies. We also have another system where, which is a do-it-yourself system, and you can go to our website, which is onlinefilmbox.com, and you can have your own movie site within seconds and sell movies. We split the revenues with you. The other item that we have that's very unique and special is that we developed this box, which is sort of like the equivalent of the Roku box We make it in China, but it's a generation ahead of Roku. It currently has 500 streaming channels, and we call it cable TV in the box. And what does it have that's so special? First of all, the subscription is individual for each channel, and you'll be able to buy it in Best Buy or Fry's in the near future. And you can have a whole cable system set up for about $30, $40, whatever, depends what channels you
I'm
want.
sorry to interrupt you, but our hostess is waving us that we ran out of time about a minute and a half ago. I'm
Okay.
sorry. But let me just go to the first question. So just to make sure I understand correctly, so you aggregate content, you got some licensing to content, and you get it to different platforms?
We don't aggregate. We actually license the content. We own it. We do not just.
Oh, so you're the owners of.
Well, we license, which is temporary ownership for 5 or 10 years.
So you're an over-the-top alternative cable service?
The top what?
Over-the-top service with your box in any country to deliver the content that we saw.
Yeah, but the box is international. You can sell it anywhere. So not a problem.
The box is available?
Yeah, the box is already being sold in some countries, and it will be available
What
here
countries?
in Best Buy. Huh?
What countries?
In Hong Kong, and now China also.
How many subscribers do you currently have?
We're just starting with that particular box.
And how many people, and can you tell us a little bit about the company? How many people?
We are, the main office is in Israel, the only place to be. We have about 20 people between Israel, London, United States, and also China.
And how was it funded to date?
How's it what?
Who funded it?
I'm funding it myself from my income from the famous music rights.
Wow.
I'm happy to look for an investor, but we keep on rolling in any event.
Good.
Thank you. This is very nice. Thanks for showing it. Thank you, Sam. Good evening, Moti.
Hi. I did promise Sharon I will do it less than a minute, and I will keep it less than a minute. I have about 4 slides. Oops, sorry, that way. I did ask a few of you guys a minute ago, an hour ago, if you ever rent your personal car to a stranger. I think we had like 2 people saying yes, most said no. Would you share or rent your personal car to a friend of a friend? Maybe. And if you're looking to sell, 90% said yes. We have about 22,000 people on Twitter. On Facebook. We asked them the same question. We have 90% of 22,000 people said yes. If we're looking to sell our car, we're most likely to share, give somebody the option to try it before they're buying it. Where is this thing? Okay. About 3 years ago, we did a Hertz rent to buy. We went to Hertz. We told them you have an active rental car. It's on rent. In order to sell it, you need to stop renting it. That's what you do. We developed a website for Hertz Rent to Buy, and the whole idea behind it, when car is actively on rent, you can actually sell it, meaning today is Tuesday. Somebody can make a reservation to buy the car on Monday when it's still actively on rent. If you go to Hertz Rent to Buy today, that was us. Consumer can try the car before they're buying it. Hertz they're saying 5,000 cars a month. They write about 7,000 cars a month right now. Oops, the other way. Then looking at the rental industry was 1.5 million car. We decided let's take it bigger. If the rental industry, active rental car can be for sale, then why not to go to dealership and consumer and telling them you're looking to sell? Why not to rent in the meantime? We look at the market, it was about 41 million cars for sale. We always was thinking, very small percentage from 41 million can be bigger from the whole rental industry combined.
Speak to the mic, it's okay.
No, I think it is. Management team, myself, background, auto rental space, been doing it for a very long time. We recruited Frame. I was at eBay for a few years when eBay was miscellaneous. We helped eBay to be from miscellaneous to eBay Motors as a partner. I was the largest seller on eBay Motors. Jeff joined the company. He was eBay Motor Trust and Safety for about 8 years. Built eBay Motor with the original eBay Motor team. He's running Trust and Safety for us. If we do send somebody to your home, we will actually verify his driving record. We will verify he is who he is. That's what Jeff's responsibility. Todd just left. Todd's background was Alibaba, then Yahoo, and that's kind of, that way.
So Moti, so what you're saying is that so your business is to help people sell cars that they try out a car before they want to sell it?
Yeah, we marketplace taking buying and selling, using the sharing as a tool to connect them. That's what the whole idea behind it.
And
You heard about sharing company, car sharing company. The sharing to us, it's not the goal. It's a tool to put together buying and
So
selling.
who are you competing with?
I would say eBay potentially can be a competitor. eBay do have cars for sale. They can go immediately to the
Didn't you teach them how to sell cars on eBay?
eBay was miscellaneous when I met the guys at eBay, and I did help eBay. I was the largest seller on eBay Motor when one day, eBay miscellaneous, when one day I got a phone call from eBay, say, you know, you're the largest seller, 75% of eBay inventory was mine. Then I worked there and helped them to build eBay Motor. Yeah, that was early. Oh, I got to this one. No, this is that also.
So his site is helping people.
Okay, well, I guess it's dead.
All right.
Oh, sorry. Oh, that's it. That's the last one. We in business, 2 months in business, about 5,000 customers. Reservation every day, and about 300 cars on the side, mostly in exotic and exotic. We started with exotic car, high revenue, and
How many cars were already bought? Somebody bought a car already or not yet?
booked, sold, or booked to test drive?
Booked to sell.
Booked to sell, we have about 20 cars sold.
So I just, first of all, I think this is very interesting, and I think there's a whole trend of taking what Craigslist was in the market and breaking it down to solutions that are much more relevant and interesting, because Craigslist is long gone. I think this is one of them. I think the try before you buy on cars is what we all want. So I think this makes a lot of sense. Of course, I think there's a huge challenge of how this will be accepted in the market. And I mean, you got some feedback on your questions, but how this will actually grow and be marketed, and how much it will take to market that will be an interesting task.
So far, how much money have you spent on marketing?
We spend zero money in marketing. We do have reservation every day, mostly through SEO and outside SEO, organic.
So how many cars? When did you launch, and how many cars have you sold so far?
6 weeks ago. We're almost in 7 weeks right now, and we have 5,000 users renting every day.
And what should I ask? Are you raising money now, or are you?
We're raising
comfortable?
1.5. Yes.
And how do you expect to get scale? Because I assume people searched it through the optimization they got to the service. And
the scale, my goal is to go to you or to a dealer which looking to sell the car, and let them, when you do sell your personal car, you put for sale on your car, and if you're a dealer, you have a big sign for sale. The goal is for you to help to market your own car by giving somebody the option to test drive your car, kind of try it before you buy it. Because you're doing it anyway right now, we're just going to give you the tool.
And again, you're providing insurance. So if some stranger comes to my house to test drive the car, you're
we provide the $1 million liability, up to $75,000 full coverage. If anything wrong to the car during the test drive before you're buying it, we do, not us, an insurance company we're buying the insurance from, will cover you. Up to $1 million, $75,000 full coverage.
Yeah. I always thought that it would be scared of funding an entrepreneur who was a used car salesman.
Yeah, that's why I started. By the way,
I love that joke. I love that joke.
Best line of the night. Okay.
When I owned the rental car company, my challenges was to sell my own car. I hate selling cars, and the only best possible way I found of doing it, when you come to my lot, I'm not selling it. Take the key, drive for 3 days, come back in 3 days if you like it. And I actually was trying to avoid selling cars. I hated it, but you got to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is excellent. This is cool.
Yeah, this is very cool.
Yeah. Okay, I think Sharon is waving us to. Oh.
Oh no, we can. It is. Yeah. You're supposed to say it's very cool now. Or you want to disagree?
No, it is. I want to disagree, but it is very, very cool. And I like
disagree
the
with you. It's very
I like the disruptiveness of the business model. To be honest.
I'm sorry?
I like the disruptiveness of the business model.
Thank you. I'm sorry? Yes, I owned one. I do. The Hertz was about 500 made.
You want to rent it? It's available.
Yeah, I have the 333. I do own one, yeah.
But you got to buy it after you try it.
Not mine. No.
All right,
but
but the
you
company
will
today
find
is
few
the
shop
three
before.
people, and you're gonna with money you're gonna grow the company, or
With money, we're going to get the team and have more. The first round of money will help the company with the team, get more team on board, and goal to be at 100,000 unit for rent with option to buy by end of the year.
We have a new judge. What do you say? What are you saying?
I wasn't listening.
No, come on.
Sorry.
Just say yes.
Yes, this is a good one. Thank you.
Oh.
There you go. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
thank you. I think we have one more now.
That was perfect. That was a perfect presentation that we loved very much. So to wrap up the day, because we're about to go into our festive event.
So she's performing outside and inside.
So
now.
we got an inside-outside performance. We have techno and we have music, and I can't think of a better way to close our first day of our 4th annual Israel conference. And remember, tomorrow morning is Peter Guber. Come really early, because unfortunately we have got a lot of traffic out there and we want to hear those pearls of wisdom. So with that, we're going to bring up our final Future Festist. And it's Sol Tzvi with the company Genio to tell us how do we get information.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. So my name is Sol Tzvi. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Genio Innovation. So you probably heard about personalization so many times before in your past, and you might call it relevancy, which is actually filtering choices from us. When we developed Genio, which is a personalized newspaper-styled homepage, we were thinking about you and how to keep your eyes wide open while giving you a full personalized experience. So the first thing that you will need to do in order to experience Genio is actually download a product, a client-side app. Immediately after you download this application, you'll get immediately, as I said, without pre-configuring anything, a personalized newspaper-style homepage that looks just like that. You can see that I have here all my favorite stuff from my favorite sources. I never had to set any sources in advance or pre-configure my topic of interest. For example, I can click on Facebook, and for the Facebook side, there's a lot into it, right? I could be interested in Facebook apps or maybe other stuff, but if I click on the Facebook page, you'll see that I was actually looking for the Facebook IPO. So if I scroll down this page, you'll see that all the content is really, really focused on the real thing that I was caring about. So what Genio is trying to do for me is actually helping me catching up with my online world, recognize all the sources from different sources like Twitter and Facebook. We do use different algorithms than Facebook. We'll look for match between my friends on the same interest, that have the same interest as I do, and then we bring this content to this personalized website. You could think about it as a really smart RSS reader, but if I'll click on this sources, all the feeds that you see here, Genio actually discover automatically for me. So if I go to manage feeds, if I had a manually need to pre-configure everything in advance, it could be a lot of work, especially handling all this content later on. I can browse this just so you to get the impression of how many feeds Genio actually manage and discover for me. If I go to manage for the USA Today, you'll see that this is probably a new feed for me, because Genio didn't block any feed yet. There's a lot of subcategories in USA Today, but Genio didn't disable any of them yet because it's a pretty new feed. After a while, Genio might opt me out or opt me in to any specific feed, depend on the way I behave with online. So there's other cool feature from Genio. This is, I call it a blog for lazy bloggers. I personally love writing my blog, but not everyone does. So you can see that Genio actually, based on my online behavior, offer me a cover page for my magazine. I can decide which one I want and write something about it, and then just publish it to my friend. I can publish it and share it, of course, with my Facebook friends. I won't do it right now, so I can show it to you. And this magazine actually include all my favorites. topics that I can share with my friend, because up to now, all this experience was something that was really personal, an intimate relationship between me and the computer. But right now, I'm sharing it with others. So you can see that all this feed from many diversity of sources are right here. So Genio, by the way, automatically disables itself every time I browse to a private site. If I'm, going to adult sites, if I'm going to a banking account, health account, and everything else, I don't want to see any reflection on my personalized newsfeed, so Genio will automatically disable this content for me. So if I go back to the presentation, because we are a grown-up startup, we do care about monetization, right? So the thing, if I need to summarize just for a second, what we just saw is, okay.
Can we ask a question?
I'm sorry.
Why do you download? What do you download exactly?
Yeah, you download a piece of software that the reason we do that is to bring, we went to a different direction from the server side as Google and Facebook to give you a really better personalization experience, because we don't limit it with any resources like as you do when you're coming from the server side. And also, and the result might be, actually are more accurate than anything else because of that. And if someone do care about privacy, we do not have any server side at all, so it's fully private.
But it's a huge barrier.
It might be, but if you're thinking about the online world today, the way you monetize, there's the toolbar thing, right? So what we see as Genio is the next generation, instead of toolbars that is a dying kind of monetization system, what we offer instead of controlling your search, which is this solution, we actually offer you a really good branded white labeling Genio page with full of content every time you download the product, which you still do, like music player and stuff like that. When the system asks you, would you like to have, I don't know, Skype as your personal homepage, and you say yes, behind the scenes it is sold Genio as a white branding solution and offer you a really sticky place to be in for the users.
Questions?
Do you want to use mine?
Huh?
Do you want to use mine?
Yeah, why not? How do you expect to reach users? How do you get?
Yeah.
It's available already. Do you have users? Or
Yeah, we have almost. Thank you, Dad, for the question. We actually have more than 1 million downloads a month right now.
How many?
And it's a growing 1 million a month currently. We don't see ourselves as a B2C company, because the way we distribute through partners. So we actually relying on other companies that have downloadable client-side apps.
How much are you spending to get 1 million downloads a month?
I don't. Zero. Zero money, no cost.
Are you raising money now?
What?
Where do they find it? 1 million a month?
Where did we find the traffic, you mean?
Where is on your site?
No. What we do, I'll explain this again. It's, let's say that you install Babylon, let's say any player, okay? So instead of getting a toolbar, or that will control it's all a reason to control your search. So instead of controlling the search with a toolbar, we offer a new way of thinking and bringing a real value to the user instead of a weather icon or something like that.
The 1 million people, the 1 million downloads a month, what parts of the world are most popular with you right
Mostly America, the US, and some of Canada and Germany and France. But most of our users, it's depend on our partners. We do support 20 languages.
How much revenues do you make? What's the revenue per user?
We're pretty close to, as a startup, it's a big point for us because we're really getting close to break even, hopefully in the next month or two. Yeah.
And the users download everything from your website, or what's the distribution channel of the software? Because I do have to say with Danny, downloading a software is something I haven't here.
She bundles it with, you download Babylon, you download her.
Yeah, that's what I was asking.
Yeah.
And they give it to you for free?
Users don't see Genio at all, ever. Like, you guys got lucky to see it, but other users just never see it because it's a white branding solution. We enable it for partners with their name on it, with their branding.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, cool.
You want to pay me money? I don't care.
Wait.
I have a big suitcase going back to Israel.
I was first in line. No, Are you raising money for the company? You're
No,
looking for investment? You're not.
no. We're looking to grow our business to get more partnership around two things. We have actually a new model. Instead of using AdSense as you usually do and decide which keywords to have in order to get traffic, what we're going to launch really soon is actually a way for you to add your blogs or editorials, to upload it, and Genius will automatically, based on our algorithm, will distribute it to the content, to the people, to the targeted audience, based on the content that you put on the software.
All right.
But performing outside. You're also singing outside, right?
Yes, that's right.
So you're inside for this, and what's on the outside? What are you going to perform?
I have no idea yet. I did a surprise for you guys. I'm a singer in Israel, and I launched an album back in January, which is a big hit in the radio. But I thought that most of you might not understand Hebrew, so I brought to you one song, my first song in English, but I'll explain that later, so I hope you're going to like it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Saul. It's a wonderful way to wrap our day with technology leading into music, and I want to thank our judges. This was pretty darn awesome, wasn't it?